Analyst Desh Ratan Nigam. Mr. Nigam, I want to understand your opinion on this entire controversy, but I want to start by asking you a very particular question. Sir, the panel has said that these are awards that are given for cultural reasons, and this entire political issue being brought up, any kind of political issue being brought up when the awards are being returned, that takes away from the gravity of the award. But sir, I want to ask you, is it fair to ask an individual to separate the political from the cultural, from the human?
Toya, in fact, let us see the distribution of awards in the past and the present ones. The present awardees of all the national awards that we give in terms of whether it is Padam Shri or Sahitya Academy, they've been very transparent and people working at the grassroots level. And nobody has been able to object that. Not even an iota of whimper, even from the opposition parties, so far as the quality of awards are concerned today. Yesteryears, there was a lot of political patronage, and most of these people who actually did that hoax and gimmick of returning the award were mostly, so-called leftists, communists, and some backed by the opposition parties. And creating that kind of a gimmick, they did not return the financial amount that they received. Only this thing. If they were so serious, they could have returned the finance also received, but they did not. However, these awards are non-political. These awards are non-political. Let's be very, very clear. They belong to cultural and literary realm, and has to be looked at that from that perspective. You have right to protest. Protest. This is a democracy. You have been protesting, and time and again, government has, the people of this country have also given their verdict through elections, whichever way you look at it. In some, the people have won. In some, they have lost. That's the beauty of democracy. But so far as these awards are concerned, one has to be very clear. It has been given in a particular domain, as the government says, and I also concur with it. And one should avoid, returning the award. You still have 101 avenues, and once you've tried to return an award, I think there should be a provision in this that your name should be struck off from the records of Government of India that you ever got the award. That should be the spirit that they have not included in this. And in fact, you will not be considered for future awards. Mostly it has been since once you get an award, it's very difficult to get another award in a similar way, unless and until you do something very extraordinary, because that recognition you've already got. So that is not going to not to be considered for future award is something that is not going to cut much ice with the Award Wapsi gang. What should happen is that their name should be struck out from the records of the government that they ever got the award, and therefore that would act as a deterrent to them.
But Mr. Nigam, I now want to take to you an opposition that I've heard a number of leaders say today from the opposition. Sir, they've argued that throughout history, there are multiple famous examples, not just in India, scattered across the world, of individuals making protest in arenas that they're not supposed to make that protest in. And that's important. That's important sometimes to push home the point of the protest. So to that, what do you have to say?
See, the fact is, you have to understand from a particular point of view. Nobody takes your political right away. You have a right to protest, but the award which is non-political, you're politicizing it. These two things are different. Protest in the arena whichever way you want to, whichever arena you want to get into for protest, because everybody has a political right. We all have our right to vote. So that cannot be taken away. So you have a right to protest in the political realm, but do not mix the awards which are non-political into politics, because we saw how the Award Wapsi gang was working at that point of time and trying to create a perception with the support of the left Communist Party, Congress and opposition party that we saw. And therefore, one has to be very, very clear. The two things are different. You have a right to protest whichever area or domain you want to, but don't mix politics with the awards.
Okay, Mr. Nigam, I'm actually going to allow Sujata Paul to respond to you. Ms. Paul, I'm not going to take a question to you. Just respond to that, please.
Yes. The funny part is that Mr. Desh Ratan Nigam is extremely different. This is a participatory democracy in which we should be encouraging people to understand that they need to be participating in our democracy and they should have more say in democracy. But look at the words he uses, gang. Yes, there is a gang of goons also elsewhere that thinks that the nation should be having one nation, one leader, one nation, one this and one that. No, this is a democracy, and no matter how much of an Amrit Kal you call it, it will still not mean that everybody is going to be just existent forever, those who are there today. The objectivity is lost on the BJP because I just heard him talk about the finances. Do you know what has been said? When people wanted to return their awards, they were told they returned the checks also, but they were told that the checks could not be taken in because they could not be deposited. So what is he talking? He doesn't even know what the fact is. So when we talk about this entire issue, it is only to control people who are the leftists or Congress supporters. And that is clear from what Mr. Desh Ratan Nigam has said. Are you trying to say that when Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee was there and the awards that he had given, if people wanted to return those awards in protest, then we would have said that they are rightists? No, we could not have done that because this country does not only give people the right to vote, but also the right to be citizens who are free, have freedom of speech and expression, and also have the right to protest. See, the problem is that the government of today, they don't want to look at the issues on which the protest happens. And what about Mirabai Chanu? I understand that you have a problem with Ms. Romila Thapar. What about Mirabai Chanu? Why is she protesting? Because Manipur has been burning for 80 days now, and you all have not taken cognizance of it. You've kept your mouth shut because the involvement of RSS is coming out. Methi Lipon chief Pramod Singh being a follower of Golwalkar, as has been seen in various pictures. So the fact is that this government wants to control everybody and it wants to turn our democracy into an autocracy. But this also shows the fear and the cowardice of this government because you're scared of the voice of dissent.
I'm going to have to ask you to wait for a second. Sir, you can, but let me just get the DMK spokesperson into. A. Saravanan has been waiting with us for a little while now. Sir, thank you for waiting. I want to take to you one of the things that the panel had to say. The panel argued that every time these awards are returned, you're actually dishonoring the importance that the award carries. So I want to understand what the DMK's response to that is.
Yeah, this recommendation of this parliamentary panel is cringeworthy. We are not a banana republic. We are a constitutional democracy where freedom of expression is not just an abstract right. It has to be available freely to everybody. If you look at these awards are given to the most celebrated artists. The artists by nature are emotional. They are bound to express whatever way, and when they are angry with something, it is their best way to return the award. It creates an awareness in the society. We need such people to stand up. They may be right, they may be wrong, they may be for a good cause, for a bad cause, but that right to stand up should be there. Then only we are a democracy. Otherwise, if some award comes with a condition, oh please, you should accept this wholeheartedly, you should not return this award. Will any self-worth, any artist with a little bit of self-worth accept these awards? Who are these people?
So let me just
have any idea?
Let me just take a closing question then, related to what you're saying to Mr. Nigam. Mr. Nigam, I want to understand from you, one of the conditions that we talked about right now, that the panel is possibly suggesting, is that if you dishonor the award, you will not be listed for future awards. So that's a tricky one, because can't the definition of dishonor be construed anyway? How is the government possibly going to define that?
See, the fact is, this is what the government has to work out. Now, one of the problem that would arise because of this award Wapsi is that the governments would be very circumspect while giving an award, because they would be considering tomorrow this man may, dishonor the award, may return the award, whichever party may be in power. Tomorrow, any other party could be in power. They would be very circumspect about this fact that this man may return the award. This might go as a consideration in giving the award, which should never happen. That is because these are non-political awards based on merits, the merit of the person and talent and skill of that person. So I believe this kind of an undertaking is a must. And so far as Manipur is concerned, a lot of leaders within the Manipur regional party have blamed the Congress for what is going on out there.